Hello everyone for the weekend webinar with COE. And today we will be working with Excel, and the key highlights would be VBA, Power Query and dashboards. And for this today we have with us Ellen. So yeah, welcome Ellen.
All right. So, hi everyone. Namaste. Good morning and good day. Malaysia is good afternoon. So, before I start, I would like to know, can you hear me? If you can hear me, you can just type number one in the chat box. And if you can see the screen, please type number two in the chat box. Okay. So, if you can hear me, you type number one. And if you can see the screen, you can type number two. Okay. Why I'm asking this? Because I'm teaching online. So, I just want to make sure that you and we are on the same page, because sometimes the online connection might be slow, because so that's why everyone on the same page. Okay, so like mentioned by Akriti, what we will learn is we will learn on automating Excel reports. Okay, so sometimes what happen is we will receive Excel report from clients, from management, from other department. So what we will do is we will use VBA codes. Okay, VBA codes to just like copy and paste, update, automate. And then we will also learn Power Query, because Power Query is very known as data cleaning tool. Okay, data cleaning. And then we will also show dashboard. Okay, I'm going to create a very simple dashboard. So this topic for today is VBA code, Power Query, and dashboard. Okay, so we will learn about three different codes actually. Okay, all right, so let's get started. So I've given the file to in the WhatsApp group, even in the chat also, you can get the file. Okay, maybe Akriti, you can share again this particular file. So right now, what you're looking at, this particular file, we do have a company called Apple. And this Apple company, they have the sales method via Apple stores, where people go to the supermarket, go to the shopping mall, and they buy the iPhone, or they can also buy via online. And then we also have the sales based on several locations like Apple stores, what is the Asian Pacific sales, Americas, Europe. And then we also have the sales for iPhone, Apple Watch, MacBook, and others. So basically, my intention right now is I want to actually share these to my manager, because right now my manager don't understand what is the highest sales, or sales by location, sales by product, sales by sales method like Apple stores or online sales. So I want to share this to my manager, that with one click, my manager can see the details. So let's get started. Okay, so now what I'll do is I'll go to the developer and I will straight away start with coding, because I want to show you what are the VBA code that we can try. So I'm going to click here Visual Basic, and right here you have this Visual Basic application. So this is where we write the VBA code. So insert and click module. So my friends, can you see module? If you can see module, please type number 3 in the chat box. We have user form. User form is like a menu, okay, where we can create some menus, data entry, but I'm going to use the simple one, which is module. So this is the first code that I want to write over here. Okay, what I want to write? I want to write is sub go to, I put here go to, just say go to cell. Okay, sub is a sub procedure. We always start with either sub or function, but I start with sub, go to cell, open bracket, close bracket. Okay, what is this sub? Sub is a sub procedure. Go to cell, you can put any name. You can put ABC, you can put XYZ, but I want to put as go to cell. Okay, that is the name of the code. And then what I want to write, okay, basically what I want to write is, if you see here carefully, the name of this sheet is raw data. So what I'll write is sheets, okay, and then I put here raw data. So this one, we need to make sure that it is sheets. Sheets means make sure you have a S. Sheets, raw data. Why raw data? Because over here, the name of the sheet is raw data. Can you see this? If you can see the name is raw data, can you type number 4? Okay, here we have the sheet name called raw data. Okay, so sheets, raw data. And then what I want to do is, I want to write this activate. Activate is make it active. And then I'm going to do the same thing. Sheets, raw data, the name of the sheet. Okay. And then after that, I want to write here range. Range. And maybe I just put here M1000. Okay. And then after that, I write here select. Okay. So what happened is sheets raw data activate. What happened is it will show the sheet raw data. Sheets raw data range M1000. That means it will go to cell M1000. So that means when I click here start, or I click here run, what happened is, if you notice, it will go to column M and row 1000. Okay, so maybe let me just do some magic. Let me just go to a shape, and click it over here. Okay. So here I'll just press go to. Okay. So what happened is right click and I click here assign macro, go to cell, press OK. So now what happened is if just say I change this M1000, I change to A1. So once I change to A1, what happened is when I click this go to, it will go to A1. Okay, let me show you one more time. So if just say I click here M1000, so what happened is over here there is a box. Okay, so if just say I change this to maybe instead of A1000, I write here E1. Okay, so if you notice raw data sheet range E1. So now when I click this box over here, it will go to column E, row number 1. Can you see it, my friends? If you see the difference, can you type number 5 in the chat box? Okay, maybe I'll repeat one more time so that everybody can understand. Okay, later I'll explain to you why I'm using this code. So when I click this, it will go to E1. So you can actually change. You can change the sheet name. You can change the location. Okay, you can change the sheet name. So what does it mean is it will activate, it will open the sheet raw data and it will go to the particular cell. You want to put A1, A1000 up to you. So just say I put here A1000. Okay, A1000, column A, row 1000. So meaning to say, okay, let me just go back to the location. So now if you, when I click this box, it will go to column A, row 1000. So my friends, do you understand? If you understand, can you type number 6 in the chat box? Okay, so now you might be wondering why I'm actually using this. Okay, I will explain to you. So basically what I want to do is, okay, let me just go here. We do have this data. I don't want to send this report to my manager because my manager, he wants to understand what is the top performing product, what is the sales from January to May, and what's the sales for each location. I want to show analysis so that my manager can see which is the highest product, which region is the highest, which month is the highest. So it's easy for my manager, right? Okay, so what I want to do next is I want to copy and paste these numbers because sometimes what happen is we want to import a data. If just say I import to Power Query, the settings, the format will change. So what I want to do is I want to copy these numbers, copy everything and paste into a new sheet. So what I'll do is I'll rename this as a data. Okay. So what I want to do is I want to copy this information. All this I want to copy and I want to go to the data ribbon. So how to copy and paste in VBA? Okay. So what I'll do is I'll go to my code over here. So now you know the first code. This code is go to cell. The next code that I'm going to teach you is copy paste. Okay. I'm going to write here copy and paste. Okay. There's one more code. The name is copy and paste. So once you press enter, automatically the end sub will appear. So what is this code? So this code, what I want to do is I want to copy and paste. So the name is sheets. Okay, the name of the sheet is raw data. You might be wondering why raw data? Because here we have the sheet name is raw data. So you have to make sure the space, the spelling is correct. Okay, then after that, what I want to do? I want to do what? I want to select the range. Just say we have here range 1 up to just say, let me put, okay, let me go to the end. Maybe up to range, I just put maybe 50. Column I, 50. So what I'll do is range A1 to I50. Okay. And then what I want to do with this is I want to copy. Okay. I want to copy. And then where I want to paste? I want to paste in this. That means I want to copy from raw data and I want to paste in this particular sheet over here. So what I'll do is I'll go to sheets. Okay. And I write here data. Okay. Why data? Because the name of the sheet is data. And then I write here range A1. Okay. And then after that, what I want to do is I want to paste special because once we copy, we want to paste as values. So paste values. Okay, so there you go. And when I press the start button, you will notice what happened is it will copy, all this will be copied and it will paste. So for example, just say when I put here, if you see here, can you see this number 123? If you can see, maybe can you type yes in the chat box? Can you see January 123? Can you see this? Okay. So what I want to do is just say, I want to click a macro. That means I put here insert shape. Okay, wait, let me just update again. So shape. Okay, so this one is I put here update. So if just say I put here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. If you notice, I have changed the number. So what I want to do is I want to assign macro and copy paste, copy. So once I click this, what happen is you will notice over here will have a big number. Can you see it is already copy and paste? If you can see, can you type number 7 in the chat box? Meaning to say is, if just say I put here 1, 2, 3. If you notice carefully, I have changed this to 1, 2, 3. So when I click it over here, it will change. That means in this one, it will change to 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I don't want to go one by one. What I'll do is, okay, so this one, let me just show you one more time. That means this code, it will copy and paste as value. But if you notice over here we do have this border over here. We call it as application cut copy. So how to remove this? Well, it's very simple. You do what? You go to the code, you write application, okay, and then cut copy. Cut copy means, if what is cut copy? Cut copy means this line over here. Can you see this line? If you can see this line, can you type number 8 in the chat box, the green color line? So normally when we copy, this one will appear. This particular green line will appear. So what I'll do is cut copy mode. Okay, so let me put a full stop again, cut copy mode. And then I want to put equivalent to false. False means so that it doesn't appear. Okay, so now you just say I press F5, or when I click the start button over here, you will notice over here, it has disappeared. Okay, so now what, just now you might be wondering why I teach you the go to. Okay, so let me just go to this M1000. Okay, so this one I can right click and cut it. Okay, so what I'll do is I want to actually run macro where it will copy, and also it will help me to go to this data ribbon. Okay, so what I'll do is just say I put here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So once I update these numbers, what happen is I want to capture and I want to go to other sheet. So what I'll do is I will try to actually, okay, I will try to actually do what? I will try to go to the other sheet. So I'll put here call, go to cell. Okay, and then what I'll do is instead of data, I want to go to the data sheet. Okay, and this one instead of A1, I want to put as A1000, I want to put A1. So what happened is, if just say I click this, you will notice that it will go back to the previous sheet. So that means if just say I put here 1, 2, 3, when I click it over here, it changed to 1, 2, 3. Can you see the magic? If you can see, can you type number 9 in the chat box? That means what happened is, if just say I put here 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, you see here, I have already changed the number. So once I click update, it has already copy and paste, and it has already changed the, go to the different sheet. So the beauty is we can use the VBA to just one click. That means if just say I edit any number here, I just click, it will go back. Okay. So what is this code? This code is go to cell. This code is copy. This one is for copy. This is for paste as value. And this is to remove the border. That means every time when we copy, it removes the border. And what is call? Call means it will go to the cell A1. Okay, but that is not my intention. My intention is basically to create a dashboard so that my manager can understand. So in order to create a dashboard, I will use this data over here. So what I'll do is I will highlight all this, and I will go to Power Query. Because if we want to share a dashboard, we need to make sure the data is in a table format. Here we have a lot of table, but what I want is I want to have a complete table. So when it comes to Power BI or Excel, we have the feature called Power Query. Power Query can do what? It can actually make the data into one table. So I go to data over here and I click from table/range. So my dear friends, if you can see from table/range, can you type number 1 in the chat box? Okay, you may ask me why I'm going here. Because I want to convert this into a single table. Because right now, I can't create pivot table. I can't create beautiful visual. I want to create from here. So I click here from table/range. Okay, so once I click it over here, you will notice that, of course, over here, a small box will appear. I'm going to press OK. So once I press OK, so automatically it will go to Power Query Editor. So this Power Query Editor over here, so now we have these details, like all this information. So what I want to do is I want to put in one table. So if you notice carefully, this column 1 is not necessary. So I'll do what? Right click and I will remove, because the column 1 not necessary. So you can remove. How to remove? Well, you can click this column. You can either press delete. in your keyboard, there is a delete button. You can press delete, or you can press right click and you can click remove. This one also can, or you can also remove over here. It's up to you. But you must make sure that you select this column. If you select here, it's not possible. You need to select this gray color area and right click and remove. Just like that, it will remove. Then after that, what is my motive? My motive is basically, you see here, this one is not in the complete table because we have many different table. What is my intention is, I want to make sure that all this is in one table. That means instead of separate table, all in one table. So what is my intention? Okay, I'll just write in a note so that everybody can see. Okay, let me just put a sticky note so that everybody can understand. Okay, so I want one column where we have the sales method. Sales method means such as they go to Apple stores or they buy online. Okay, online method. Then I have another one, another column which shows the location. Okay, like Asian Pacific, Americas, Europe. And then after that, the third one is I want a column for products. That means like iPhone, Apple Watch. And then another column for the months like January, February, March. And the last one is Indian rupees. Because all year we have these figures over here. This is in Indian rupees. So how to actually put this into 5 columns? Well, let's do one by one. If you look here carefully, here we have row 1, row 2. This row is not necessary. So we can actually remove the row. How to remove the row? Well, can you see this, my friends? Can you see remove the row? Maybe can you type number 2? If you can see the remove row feature. So this is how we can remove row in Power Query. We click remove row. There is top, bottom, alternate. Okay, the 1 and 2 is located at the top. So we click here, remove top row. Why we select remove top row? Because row 1, row 2 is at the top, not bottom. So I click here, remove top row. Once I click remove top row, how many rows I want to remove? Row 1, row 2. So click 2 and press OK. Once I press OK, so now we have already cleaned. Then what I want to do what? If you see here, here got null, null, null. I don't want null. I want here to be like Apple stores, online sales, Apple stores, and so on. I want it to fill down. How to fill down? Select this particular cell, right click. Once you right click, there is a feature called fill down. What fill down is, it will fill the data down. So my friends, can you see fill down? If you can see fill down, can you type number 3 in the chat box? What you do is, you need to select the header. You cannot select like this. If you select like this, cannot. You need to select the header, right click. In your mouse got 2. Left click, right click, fill down. Just like that, it will fill down. Okay, so now we know like this one is Apple Store. This area is online sales. This area is Apple stores. Okay, that's great. Now what's next? The next thing is I want to separate. If you see here we have Asian Pacific. Here we have Americas, Americas. My next thing is I want to separate. I don't want all these in one column because here Asian Pacific, iPhone, Americas, iPhone, Americas, iPhone. I want to separate. How to separate the column? Well, we must see the pattern. That means just say I click here and I select Jan. Okay, so when I select Jan, you will notice that whenever there is January, it will show us the location like Asian Pacific, Americas, Europe, Asian Pacific. So what I want to do is whenever the column 4 has January, it must show the region. So how to do that? Okay, so no worries, I will show to you. So what I'll do is I go to add column. Over here, we have a tab, a ribbon called add column. Click the add column, click conditional column. Conditional column is like the if formula. In Excel, we have the if function, if formula. Same thing, the conditional column works as a if formula. So if column 4 has January, it should show the location. So click condition column, click here, column number 4. If column number 4 is equivalent to Jan, so capital Jan, you must make sure the spelling is correct, the case is correct. It is very case specific. What is case specific? That means the capital is J, small letter An. If you put wrongly, that means like, for example, if just say you put like this, it will not appear. Make sure capital J, An. So correct spelling, correct case. Then I want you to put here, follow the column 3. So column 3 is, I click here, column 3. So follow the column, otherwise it be null. Follow the null and then I press OK. So once I press OK, so it will add a column that shows the respective location. So what I'll do is I'll right click and I will move move to the beginning. So right now here we have Asian Pacific, Americas, right click, fill down. So automatically it has filled down. So here we have region, here we have sales method. Then what I want to do is I want to promote as a header. So I go to home, use first row as header. Why? Because over here we have like January, February. So I want to promote it as a header. So use first row as header, click it over here. There you go. You have January, February, March, April. But however, it's not so clean because here we have total, January. I want to remove this. So I'll just click here, unselect all, select the important items like iPhone, Apple Watch, MacBook, others, because these are the products of Apple. Apple Watch, iPhone, MacBook, others. I press OK. Just like that, we have a data. So this one is Asian Pacific. This is the location. This is the sales method. This is the product. Then January, February, March until the end. That means if I click until the end, we have June. I select all these. Okay, January, February, March, April, May, June. I go to transform. I click unpivot. So my dear friends, can you see unpivot? If you can see unpivot, can you type number 4 in the chat box? So unpivot, what it does is it will convert the columns into two pairs. So when I click it over here, we will have January, February, March, April, May in two different columns. That means, let me just do it one more time. So you select January and then you select until June and then you click unpivot columns. So it will put all the months into one column. Click it like this and then there you go. So here we have changed. So now this is a proper table. So I just rename. I put here region. This one I put here sales method. Over here, I just put it as products. Like we have iPhone, MacBook. This is the months. And this is the values. So you can put INR and it's up to you. And I put it as a whole number. Just like that. Okay. So now we have these details. I go to home. I click close and load to. Because when you press close and load, it will load as a table format in a new sheet. But when you press close and load to, you have the option to load into a different format. So let me click this. So when I press close and load to, you see when you press close and load, it will automatically load as a table in new worksheet. But I don't want table format. I want pivot table format. So pivot table and press OK. And just like that, you will have this data over here. So now what I'll do is, so just say I'll just click the months and I click the Indian rupees. So now we have these details over here. So I'll just press right click and then I'll do what? I'll go to number format and I put here accounting. So no symbol and I press OK. So now we have this data over here. So we can see like January is 13, February is 12 and so on. So now we can actually use VBA code to automate. So what I'll do is I'll go here, I'll put a VBA code. Okay, sub refresh pivot table. Refresh pivot table. So what I'll do is I'll put here dim. Dim means declare. Declare ABC as pivot table. Okay. So this one, you want to write ABC, you want to write XYZ, it's up to you. So I'm going to put a variable ABC as a pivot table. And then I set ABC equal, okay, sheets. So this one is which sheet? If you see here, this pivot table is located in table 1. This pivot table over here is located in table 1. The name of the sheet is table 1. So my friends, can you type number 5? If you can see here, table 1. The name of the sheet is table 1. All right. So I'm going to do what? I'm going to write here table 1. You must put apostrophe table 1. Okay. And then full stop pivot tables. Okay. I'm going to write pivot table, pivot tables. Make sure it has a hash. Okay, which pivot table? The name of this pivot table is pivot table 1. If you see here, the name of pivot table is pivot table 1. Copy this and I paste it over here. Okay, and then after that, ABC full stop, refresh. So refresh the table. So any changes, it will refresh. Okay, so now what I want to do next? Okay, so let me just do this. Interestingly, wait, this one, instead of go to cell, let me just remove. Okay, dim. Dim means, okay, I'll write here. Okay, there's a question in the chat box. What is dim? Dim means declare, declaring. So in this case, we are declaring ABC as a pivot table. You can declare ABC, XYZ as a pivot table and so on. So you can declare ABC, you can declare XYZ, you can declare 1, 2, 3, up to you. And you can declare it as a numbers and so on. What is set? That means we set means setting the ABC to be the pivot table 1 of sheet table 1. So Aishwarya, did I answer your question? So dim means declare. It's a very famous code. When you learn VBA, you will come across a lot of dim. What is set? Set means we are setting. That means dim ABC as pivot table. We are declaring ABC like a pivot table. You can declare it as a conditional formatting. You can declare it as a table. You can declare it as a double. Double means number or string. Then we are setting the ABC to be sheet table 1 and pivot table 1. That means the ABC means referring to this pivot table. ABC means referring to this pivot table. Table 1, pivot table 1. And then what I want to do is I want to refresh the pivot table. Okay, so now let me show you some magic. So this one I'll put here, table 1. Okay, and over here is table 1. And this one you'll see there's a lot of changes. So let me just do another code, sub update. So open bracket, close bracket. I want to call copy and paste. Okay, the first code. Then I want to call refresh PT and another code call, okay, call the go to cell. This one. Let me just write here, go to cell. Okay, so this is the code. So what I'll do is I'll go to this raw data, right click, assign macro. I click here, update. So now, if just say I put here a big number, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So if you notice, I have changed this number. So when I click update, can you see? Okay, so column 9 not formed. Okay, never mind. Let me just do one more time. Okay, so let me just click here. Okay, so this one depends on the code. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Okay, so now I need to redo again. Never mind, it happens. Let me just do one more time. So let me go to the data and queries and connection. Okay, right click and edit. All right, because sometimes what happen is the column, okay, column 9 not found. I know why, because of the error. Okay, so never mind. So this is column number 9. Okay, so we do have the extra column. It's okay, it happens. Okay, remove columns, it happens. So what I'll do is I'll redo again. It's okay, not an issue. Okay, so what happened is let me just redo. Okay, so let me just change everything because sometimes the code has issues because of the column, because Power Query problem is with the columns actually. Okay, so this one I can change. So I select this and I remove. Okay, so I remove. Let me just do a quick one. Okay, I understand why, because of the columns. All right, so right click and fill down. Okay, and then after that, I will just go to this one, put as a location, add column, conditional. Okay, so this is column number 3. And this one I put here Jan. Okay, and then over here I put column number 2. And this one I put here null. Okay, so I press here okay, and yeah, right click and I put fill down. And right click and I go to move to the beginning. So here we have, so this one I change to region. This one I change to sales method. Okay, so now we have this, and this one, what I'll do is I will try to put first row as header. And this one I'll just select the important things like Apple Watch, iPhone, MacBook, and others. Okay, so now we have this, and let me just select the others, right click and unpivot other columns. So right now we have this information, and let me put here products. Let me put here as months, and let me put here as INR. Okay, let me just try one more time. So let me just see if it works. It's great. It isn't, it's okay. So go to home and close and load. All right, so now let me see. Okay, so now let me just try one more time. Okay, so if just say I run this code, it works. I run this code. Okay, let me see if there's an error. No? Okay, wait. Let me just do one more time. Okay, so maybe I put here 1, 2, 3 and click update. There you go. Okay, so let me just try one more time. I put here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So you see here, there's a big number. Click update. Can you see the difference, my dear friends? If you see the difference, can you type yes in the chat box? That means when I click update, it changes automatically. Okay, maybe I need to do one more time so that everybody can see clearly. So if you see here, wait, let me go to raw data. Raw data, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So maybe I put here, maybe 12. You see here, I have changed to number 12. Okay, and this one also I put here 12. So I have changed this number. So when I click update, you will notice that the number has changed. Okay, can you see this? Maybe let me copy this number. I copy and I paste over here. Okay, so the number, if you notice, is 12.5. So I go to my raw data. Okay, just say I put here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And same thing, I copy and paste. When I click update, can you see there's a big number over here? If you can see, can you type number 1 in the chat box? Okay, so what I'm doing is but the thing is the game is not over because I want to create a visual, a fascinating visual, right? So let me just change the numbers accordingly. So I put here 1, 2, 3, and this one, I just changed some numbers. Okay, so I click update. So it'll be back to normal. Okay, then what I want to do next is, okay, so I want to create a visual. Okay, so this one is raw data. This is table one. I create another visual. Okay, a very, very simple one. So let me just go here. Okay, let me just merge. I want to put here as sales performance. Okay, sales performance. Maybe I make it bigger, size of 40, and there you go. So, yeah. Okay, just give me a moment. So just. Okay, so what I'm going to teach you right now is I'm going to show you all a visual. So let me just copy this. And let me just paste it over here, another pivot table. Okay, so this pivot table, what I'll do is instead of the months, I want to show the products because my manager wants to know which product is performing. So here we have these products. So I'll just right click, sort largest to smallest. So from here, we can understand that iPhone dominate the market. And I want to show here, so right click, show value as, and percentage of grand total. So from here, we can see that 50% of the sales go to iPhone. So this one is total sales. And over here is the percentage allocation. So we can say that from here, 82% of the sales goes to iPhone and Apple Watch. Okay. And then what I want to do next is I want to put a visual over here. So let me just go to pivot table, pivot chart. Okay, let me just click this and go back here. Wait, let me just go here. Okay, so let me adjust the size accordingly so that the chart is beautiful. Make it more beautiful. Wait, just give me a moment. Okay, so this is the sales performance. Remove this. Click here. And I want to remove all the details. So for example, over here, when I just click this, I remove the legend. I remove the grid line. I put the data labels. Right click over here, hide all field. And what I'll do is I want to put as short form. So select this, right click, format axis, and I put it over here, display as millions. So now you have this data over here. Of course, the chart is not beautiful, but I'm going to show you how we can make it wow. So this one I want to rename as dashboard. Dashboard. Okay. So this one is dashboard. So what I'll do is I'll go back to the code because I want to put as dashboard. So I'll go here. So I'll click it over here. So here will be dashboard. Dashboard. Okay, I'm going to copy this and I want to copy this. All right. So once let me run here. Okay, so it works. So what I'm going to do is I go to raw data. I change to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So when I change this big number over here, we need to rename. Okay, yeah. So we need to rename. Okay, did I rename? Wait, let me just see. Thanks for reminding, Ayush. Wait, let me just see the pivot table. Did I rename? Oh yeah, thank you so much for updating me. Yes, so I'll just go to data, queries and connection, right click. Thank you, Ayush. So I'll edit again. I'll rename it to region. Okay, so this one is regions and this one is products. Thank you, Ayush, for reminding. And wait, this one is sales method. Okay, so close and load. So now it's just like that. It has changed. So if you notice over here, when I change the number, automatically our dashboard becomes higher. So what I'll do is I'll click here insert. I'll click one shape. So maybe a better shape. Okay. Maybe I click this shape. It's up to you. You want to click any shape also can. So this shape, I want to click a hyperlink. So the keyboard shortcut of hyperlink is Control K. Control C is copy. Control V is paste. Control K is hyperlink. So when I click Control K, a box will appear. Place in this document, raw data, and press enter. So what happen is when I click this, it will go to the raw data. So if just say I change here 1, 2, 3. So if you notice, I change to a small number. When I click update, it will go here. Okay, so let me just click one more time. Sometimes we need to update. And then can you see the difference, my friends? When I change the number, automatically the chart changes. Can you see the difference? Can you type yes if you notice the difference? Okay, maybe I'll show you one more time. So what happened is, just say I click here. Okay, so this one, I show a big number. Just say I put here 987654321. So if you notice over here, can you see that I have changed the number? If you see I have changed the number, maybe can you type number 2 in the chat box? So if you notice over here, I have changed a big number. 987654321. So when I change the number and I click update, you will notice that this number becomes big. Okay, let me click one more time. So click update and then eventually this number. So you need to click one more time so that it will refresh. So my friends, do you notice? Did you learn something? If you learn something, can you type yes in the chat box? So Ayush and Aishwarya, do you understand? Okay, so that means when I go back here, just say I change to a small number. Maybe I put here 1. Okay, if you notice, I change to 1. So when I press update, okay, I need to click one more time. Update, eventually it will update. Okay, so my friends, do you notice? How about Mohit and Aishwarya? Do you understand? Others, do you all learn something new? Okay, so basically, I'll show you one more time. So basically, what happened is we use a code, a list of code. This code go to cell means it will go. What is this code? This code is it will go to any cell. A1, A100. This code is to copy and paste. This code is to refresh. And this code is to call everything. So basically, what we learn is we learn how to automate. That means sometimes our report will change. It happens because the sales changes, or data entry, we change. So if just say I put here 5,000, okay. So I put here 5,000 and there you go. Okay, so yes. So I can go to the, thank you, Manoj. I go to view and I can remove the grid lines. So let me just click this. There you go, it remove. So of course I need to change the coloring. I can change the coloring. I go here, change this color, change the color to white color. This one also I right click. I change it to a better color, maybe white. Okay. This one also same thing. I click it as dark blue. So there you go. Of course, you can make it more beautiful, more fascinating. Maybe here I want to create another pivot table. Copy this, put it over here. So this pivot table, I don't want the products. I want the sales method. So here we have the sales method. And then another pivot table. Okay, maybe this one I'll put what? I cut this and paste it over here, copy this, paste over here again, and I don't want the sales method, I'll put the region. Okay, so now we have the data. Okay, so this one also I want to change, right click, sort, smallest, largest to smallest. So online sales is the highest. So if just say I click this, I put here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I've already changed to a big number. I click update. Okay, so you will notice that it will change. Okay, so this one also I'll change one more time. Right click, sort, largest to smallest. So we see that iPhone is the highest, Apple Stores is the highest, Asian Pacific is highest. So I click go back. I put here 1, 2, 3. And when I click update, just like that, it will change accordingly. So my friends, did you learn something? Manush, is everything okay? How about Ayush? Okay, so yeah, but of course the chart is not beautiful because we can make it more beautiful, more meaningful. But the intention is to show you how we can convert a data into a visual using Power Query. Because normally we can use Power Query. But why I never use Power Query immediately is because I don't want to change the format. The problem with Power Query is, as you can see over here, it will change the format. Because sometimes our raw data file is the data that we will import from other sheets, or it's actually updated by other stakeholders where they need to input the figures and so on. So when we click update over here, it will show in the dashboard what is the sales and so on. Okay, so my friends, did you learn something new? Maybe can you type number 3 in the chat box if you learned something new? How about Aishwarya? Are you there? Mohit and yeah. How about Akriti? Akriti, you can just also type yes if you learned something new. So I think I got teach you all something, but if you have any questions, you can ask me right now. I can actually copy the code. So what I'll do is I'll copy all the codes and I will paste it in the chat box. So yeah, this is all the codes. So the chat box has all the codes you can actually copy and yeah, do accordingly. So yeah, I got teach you all. So if you have any questions, you can ask. And also I'll just share this particular file. Yeah. Will the raw data get converted to table every time? Yes. Okay. Why? Because we have already converted to a table. Okay. The question in the chat box is, will the raw data convert to table? Yeah. Because we use VBA code to copy and paste, and then we use refresh pivot table to refresh. So eventually we will learn. Okay, do we need to learn the codes or it different? Basically, you can go to YouTube and you can learn a lot of VBA codes. There's a VBA code on how we can copy and paste. There's a VBA code how to sort data. There's also a VBA code how to create a data entry. So basically, you can actually learn in YouTube, and you can also ask ChatGPT and other AI tools on what is the coding and so on. Did I answer your question, Vinit and also Manoj? Okay, I will also share the file. Okay, let me share, put this as VBA. Okay, so let me just share this. Okay, so I will share in the chat box. So the chat box, as you can see, I've already shared the file. Okay, so you can download the original version and you can download the VBA version. You can actually, okay, can we refresh directly? Yes. Okay, so Renu, to answer your question, let me share screen so that you can see clearly. Okay, wait, let me open my file and there you go. So my dear friends, can you see my screen? So to answer Renu's question, okay, so to answer your question, Renu, you must put your cursor at the pivot table and go to pivot table and click refresh. Can you see this, Renu? If you can see this, can you type yes in the chat box? So you can click refresh and automatically it can refresh. So without VBA code, you can actually perform your task. Without VBA code, you can perform. But it's just that is you want to click the updates, because instead of putting your cell over here, going to pivot table analyze and refresh, or pressing right click and refresh. Okay, because there is two click. If just say what I do is I change any number and then when I click update, it will be automated. So Renu, do you understand? Did I get your clarification? Okay, so yeah, so if you have any questions, you can ask. So this is how we can actually automate our data.
Yeah, hello, sir. This is
Yeah, go
Abhishek.
ahead.
Yes, sir. So, sir, my query is basically first thing is I understood the project that you showcased so far. So, my first query is regarding the raw data that you put on the first screen one, which is being there. So, my query is in Power Query, in what I understood is in Power Query, we can use the like multiple sheets in a single Excel sheet. So, my query
Mm-hmm,
is
yeah.
if in that raw data, For example, let's say Apple stores, online sales, and Apple stores like that individual
Okay.
tables. Let's say, for example, it's in different Excel sheets. So can we merge that? First query. Second query is regarding is there any rule or like systematic rules like in the to merge the multiple Excel files? Let's say for the live example I'm currently working on, like 20 plus more Excel files I'm to merge in a single Excel file. Is there any like rule is that starting from the column of every sheets is should be same and the sheet name also should be same. Is there something like that?
All right. So thank you so much for your two inquiries. Okay. Inquiry number one. I will go to data and I'll go to queries and connection and I will show to you. Okay, wait. You can actually go to here or you can go to launch Power Query Editor. So the first question that asked by Abhishek is, if just say that the Apple Store online sales is in a different location. Okay, if it's in a different location, you can actually use merge and append queries. Merge when you have a common column. Normally, I believe when you go come across some Excel reports, some people will use VLOOKUP, XLOOKUP. They can also try merge query if they want to combine the table. But if just say we want to combine based on header, it is append query. So the first question by Abhishek is, what if just say in a separate Excel file or separate Excel sheet, you can actually append the queries into one table. So the first question, did I answer, Abhishek?
Yes, sir.
Okay, second question. Do we need to make sure the header and the sheet is the same? Yes. Why? If just say the header and sheet is the same, then basically what you can do is okay, if just say the header and sheet changes, you can go to the VBA. Okay, let me just go here. You have to make sure the sheet is being written over here. If just say your sheet is raw data, change to raw data. If the sheet is a dashboard, make sure it's a dashboard. Same things goes to Power Query. So if you want to import, make sure the sheet name you know and the column that you know. If just say you don't know what is a column, don't know the sheet, then you are not able to amend. You are not able to understand if there's any error and so on. Did I answer your question?
Yes. So what I've understood is basically we need to make sure that whenever we are merging, let's say for example, 10 or 15 plus files in a single Excel, we need to make sure that that column name or header name should be same in every single file, and the sheet name also should be
Yes.
same to
Yes,
make it
if
a
they are
single
not
file.
necessarily same, if it depends on how your data. Sometimes if your data is just column one is free, then we can do some cleaning and then eventually we can append. Not necessary it must be same, but if just say you want to automate in one go, then the sheet name, the column name must be same in one go.
So the thing is
What
that
I'm trying to say is that means sometimes the file changes every month. So if the file changes every month, then it's not doable in one go. But there is a way. That means we can make sure that individually they are different. But when it comes to merging or appending, you can make sure that you can just append and make sure the column name is same. Then you can append.
okay, so the thing is really in a currently in a right scenario which is being happened. So client send me a one file in which Excel 1, Excel 2, Excel 3 is there, for example.
Okay,
And
good.
Excel 1 has a, let's say for example 20 columns. Excel
Okay.
2 has a 18 columns and Excel 3 has a 15 columns. And I need to
Okay.
merge every three Excel files ka data in a one Excel sheet. So can it be
Okay.
achievable?
Yeah, can. You can actually do what? Okay, that means if you go here, data, get data from file Excel. So one Excel, like what you say, client one, Excel file one. Then import from another Excel file two. Then import from another Excel file three. Once you
Okay.
import all the Excel file, then you can append. Once you append, then you can do the VBA and so on.
Okay, so it's achievable. I need to make sure that like the column I can remove in the Power Query itself.
Yes, you can do the data cleaning in Power Query.
Okay. And in the second thing is basically currently I'm working in a project. I already made the dashboard in which
Okay.
the Excel file is directly connected to the Power BI, which is in my desktop.
Okay.
But yeah, but the thing is the client says that we need to make sure that everything should be on a SharePoint or a OneDrive or Teams ka file.
Okay.
So the dashboard is already everything ready. It's been signed out by the client also and the stakeholders. But the thing is, should I? The only thing that I may query is, can I change the path or should I make the dashboard from the scratch? Because the
No,
same
no,
Excel
no.
file is there.
Not necessary. You don't have to put another effort. This one, yeah, it's a tricky question because not only you're not the first one. I mean, everyone has asked me the first same thing, like can you directly access and so on. I think you don't have to start from scratch. You need to figure out how you can actually make it more accessible to them.
Yeah, actually, I just need to. So the thing is currently that one Excel file is there in my desktop. I just need to paste that Excel file in a Teams Excel file, and I need to
Mm-hmm.
link that team Excel file to the Power BI. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
So any way that we can like
So that
because my
means from
dashboard is anyway.
Excel dashboard to Power BI, Teams
Uh,
dashboard to Power.
no, like my Excel file is there, normal Excel file in which Jan 25 data, 20 file is there in the single Excel file, and
Okay,
that
good.
from that is there connected to the Power BI. I made that dashboard, but the thing is, I that connection is being in my desktop file only. I
Oh,
need
okay,
to,
makes sense, makes sense. Okay.
yeah, in my
Maybe you
download
can
folder.
change, okay, because what you can do, you don't have to start from scratch. Okay, what you can do is you can change the data source. Like, for example, over here, let me just show you. Okay,
Mhm.
so wait, let me show you one more time. Yeah, go to edit. Okay, so if you look here, over here we have data source settings. Data source settings means it will tell you where's the location. This one is current workbook. Like what you told me is your file is in your desktop, right?
Yes, yes, sir. Yes,
Ah,
yes. In
okay.
my
So what you can do
download
is
folder.
you put your, make sure the sheet name is the same, make sure the header is the same. You save one in the share drive or you save one in the OneDrive folder. Then you can just change the source. That means you don't
Okay.
have to redo from scratch. You make sure you save another copy in the OneDrive or common folder, and then you just
Okay.
change source.
Okay. Okay. Got it. I'll try it. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, sir.
Okay, no problem. So anyone have any questions, you can ask. So if there's no questions, then I'll pass the floor to Akriti. Akriti, over to you.
Thank you, Ellen, for the informative session. Thank you, everyone, for joining in. See you
Thank
next
you
week.
and bye.
Yeah, thank